Alright guys, and welcome to another video. Just a quick one today. We're doing a Death Knight weapon progression video from level 58 all the way up until level 80. So we'll be talking about what weapons you can grab while leveling up in Outland, and if you have the time at level 70 to get some really good epic weapons, some really fast options that you can get, that'll probably last you most of your leveling journey in Northrend, and then what weapons to pick up while you actually are leveling in Northrend and getting ready to jump into heroic dungeons. So when you are at level 58, you are going to start with the Great Sword or the Ebon Blade, and you're going to jump straight into Outland with this weapon, but don't be a scrub. Make sure to get this weapon upgraded at about level 60. What you can do is run Ramparts, which I imagine a lot of people will be doing in the pre-patch to get the Hell Reaver, but then obviously you can have a lot of competition with a lot of different Death Knights during that pre-patch. So what you can do is just buy the Blade of Misfortune. You can buy that now actually and have it in preparation, and it is fairly cheap. It should be around the ballpark of 200 to 300 gold. And it's definitely worth buying because that will last you until about level 65, when you can do Ring of Blood and get the Honed Void Axe, which will last you until level 70. By the way guys, members already have access to this Google Drive presentation. You'll find access to it on one of my recent community posts, along with my quest list for all the best quests to get and ready to turn in before Wrath Lich King launches. Now when you are level 70, it really depends on how long a pre-patch is going to be, which we still have absolutely no idea. I mean, the average Death Knight might not even be able to get leveled up in time, but nonetheless, these are the best options which I think are really powerful and fairly easy and quick to get. We've got reliable options, RNG options, and auction house options. So first of all, we have the Vegeful Gladiators Greatsword. This will very likely be available to purchase with just honor points, so you just have to grind Battlegrounds at level 70, and eventually you can get this weapon. I definitely think it'd be worth taking the time to do that, because just look at how powerful that is. That will last you until you can do the Ring of Blood in Zul'Darak. The rating requirement should be removed in the pre-patch, but if it's not, you can go for Merciless Gladiators instead, and it should be cheaper as well. You never know, you may be able to get the Brutal Gladiators Greatsword, but when I looked at my own Wrath Lich King private server, you still had to get the rating in order to actually equip that weapon, even in Wrath Lich King, so you might not be able to get that one. We also have the Blade of Harbingers, the Ala Quel'Danas Badges of Justice vendor, 150 badges, quite hefty. You might not have enough time to get all the badges in that time. You probably have to do multiple raid runs and heroic dungeon runs every week during the pre-patch, but at least it's a reliable choice. Because if you're doing those raids, you may pick up something different, but the thing you've got to bear in mind is a lot of other Death Knights in the pre-patch are probably going to be doing raids to try and pick up some gear, so the competition on getting two-handed weapons might be quite high. At least this would be a solid, reliable option that you can just buy off a vendor. We've also put the two good two-handers from Zul'Aman. You may get lucky and be able to pick these up, and again you may be able to pick up something from Karazhan. But the problem with Karazhan is the two-handed weapons drop from, the Opera event, so there's even more RNG involved with that one. And obviously the weapon from Gruul has intellect on it, so you don't want to embarrass yourself with that one. But guys, if you have the availability, the opportunity to be carried by your guild, then, there's plenty of good two-handed weapon options from all of the raids in TBC. You just got to rely on them actually dropping. Now, if you don't rely on grinding honor or badges, you don't have time for that, you don't really want to rely on RNG, you also just don't have the time, you can also just buy the Singing Crystal Axe from the auction house. At the moment this is 100 gold on the auction house because it drops from Zul'Aman and it just drops from trash loot, so at the moment it is quite cheap. You may want to buy this right now in preparation again, because again that proc effect is fairly decent for a Death Knight, and it's definitely better than having some kind of questing green or the Honed Void Axe. Now, when it comes to Northrend leveling, let's say you're leveling a Death Knight way after the pre-patch has happened, you haven't had the flexibility to jump into some raids in the Burning Crusade. Well, when you jump into Northrend, you're pretty much just thrown weapons. There's a very early quest reward that you can pick up in the Borean Tundra that is a juicy two-handed weapon. Honestly, just do your quests, you're going to find your two-handed weapons. For example, for the Alliance, you got a Combatant Greatsword. That's the second quest you're going to pick up when you're leveling in Northrend. You can also get the Axe of Frozen Death if you complete all of the quests in the Borean Tundra, and there is a Horde and Alliance version of this quest with the exact same weapon reward. So it is pretty simple. Do quests, you will get weapons, but don't be a scrub. Always be on the lookout to upgrade your weapon. This weapon, the Cleaver of Diligence that you can get at level 74, is a definite upgrade which I recommend getting. It's from the quest of Tangled Skein in Zuldrak. And then, as soon as you possibly can, you want to do the Amphitheater of Anguish. This is basically the Ring of Blood Wrath of Lich King version. And as you can see, the weapon reward from this one is pretty juicy. It will last you all the way until level 80. Then from there, guys, my main recommendation is to do the quest in Icecrown that unlock the Knights of the Ebon Blade reputation faction area. Very straightforward, you just follow the first quest that you can get an Icecrown until that eventually happens. Then you will unlock the Knights of Ebon Blade, get their tabard, grind it to Revered, and get the two-handed sword from the Knights of Ebon Blade. That's basically the best thing you can get before you jump into heroic dungeons. And then you're going to go for the Colossus Clad Reaver, whatever it's called, that drops from Loken and Halls of Lightning. But obviously that's only if you're going for a two-hander and not going dual wield, but this isn't really a pre-raid this video, this is a weapon progression video, so let's leave it there. My name is MetaGoblin, to my next video, ciao.